there is anything in this world that I could take back, it would be that I would give Mercedes her life back. I have to live with the fact that I killed Mercedes and she's in hell. She was tall, really skinny, had a flat stomach, had shoulder length brown hair. We had fun together. We were just like a typical couple. She had really soft lips.
County SU 705.
And I had talked to her about having sex, and she just said she wasn't ready yet. I thought, she's a good girl.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Transgender Victims. We got a doozy today. We're going to be talking about Mercedes Williamson and the man who killed her. So that guy that you just saw was Josh Valum, 29 years old, and he is responsible for the death of Mercedes. They were a couple, I guess a secret couple, and he is a member of the Latin Kings. They do not condone homosexual activity. They forbid it, or anything like that, anything considered homosexual by them. So he solved the problem by killing Mercedes. Not only did he just kill her, he did it in a very, very, very brutal fashion. So buckle up. If you're anything like me, get your box of tissues out, because I know I'm going to need them. Let's get into it. Okay, this is from meridianstar.com. Gang member who killed transgender woman he was dating is first to be sentenced under federal hate crime law. Good. Gulfport, Mississippi. A Mississippi gang member was sentenced Monday to 49 years in prison in the first federal hate crime prosecution against the killer of a transgendered person. Joshua Valum, 29, a member of the Latin Kings gang, pleaded guilty to fatally beating and stabbing 17-year-old Mercedes Williamson, whom he had dated. Valum admitted that he killed Williamson because she was transgender and because he feared reprisal from other members of the gang, which forbids homosexual relationships. The case marked the first time that federal prosecutors have used the 2009 Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act to charge someone for targeting a transgender victim, according to the Justice Department. That was a tongue twister. Today's sentencing reflects the importance of holding individuals accountable when they commit violent acts against transgender individuals, end quote. Well, you think? I wish it wouldn't have taken that long for them to, realize that. Anyways, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said in a statement, the Justice Department, quote, the Justice Department will continue its efforts to vindicate the rights of those individuals who are affected by bias-motivated crimes, end quote. Valum was previously sentenced to life in prison for the slaying under state charges in Mississippi, where Valum stabbed Williamson and beat her with a hammer after driving her into the state from Alabama. Because Mississippi lacks hate crime legislation, what are you doing, Mississippi? Hello? Don't you think it's Mississippi? Go figure, right? No offense if you live in Mississippi, no offense, but still, get with it now. Anyways, because Mississippi lacks hate crime legislation, Jackson County prosecutors sought the cooperation of federal authorities to see if such charges could be pursued. The 2009 law, which President Barack Obama signed into law, expanded federal hate crime laws to include acts motivated by the victim's real or perceived gender identity, sexual orientation, or disability. It is named for Shepard, a 21-year-old gay Wyoming man who was killed in 1998 after being beaten and tied to a fence And for Byrd, a 49-year-old black man murdered in Texas that same year by white supremacists who dragged him behind their truck and decapitated him. Oh my God. People, man. Anyway, the sentence comes amid growing concern about violence against transgender people, particularly transgender women. At least 22 transgender people, most of them women of color, were killed in 2016, according to the Human Rights Campaign, an LGBT rights group. It also comes as groups have questioned the Trump administration's commitment to LGBT rights. I don't think they have any. Shortly after his confirmation, Sessions reversed course on Obama-era guidance requiring schools to let transgender students use restrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity. Sessions also recently let stand a court order blocking an anti-discrimination provision in the Affordable Care Act that applied to transgender people. Thanks. As a senator, Sessions opposed the Matthew Shepard Act, which he said at the time inappropriately singles out a specific group for special protections. Are you kidding me? Maybe because we need them? Apparently, look what according to the Justice Department, Valum decided to kill Williamson after learning that a friend had discovered Williamson was transgender. In May 2015, Valum drove to Williamson's home in Alabama, lured her into his car, and drove her to his father's home in I lost my place. 1 second. In Lucedale, Mississippi. While Williamson sat in the passenger seat, prosecutors said Valum used a stun gun to incapacitate Williamson, then stabbed her repeatedly with a 75th Ranger Regiment pocket knife. Williamson tried to escape, prosecutors said, but Valum chased her into the woods, where he repeatedly hit her in the head with a hammer. When the Justice Department announced in December that Valum had pleaded guilty to the hate crime violations, LGBT rights groups lauded the department's actions. The Department of Justice's leadership on hate crimes prevention is essential for stemming the epidemic of violence facing the transgender community. That was a quote. The Human Rights Campaign said in a statement, quote, "We urge the incoming Trump administration to continue to enforce this important law and to commit to protecting the rights of LGBT Americans facing violence in their communities," end quote. So, it's not really that what's his name, Jeff Sessions was actually being a decent politician, and looking out for the people. It was just probably just to keep people, to pacify people, after something such a horrible tragedy happened again. So that's not, he really doesn't care. So he just probably did that to save face. I'm sure that election could have been coming up or something. Ridiculous. The violence that this poor person went through, this poor young lady went through, needs to stop. What the hell? This doesn't just happen to transgender people. No, it doesn't. This happens to people of all walks of life. But being specifically killed because you're transgender is not gonna fly. It's awful. It's just pure evil. Why somebody could be so callous and cold, or how they could, I don't know. But apparently this stand-up guy had it in him. But apparently now he wishes he could take it back, so maybe you just shouldn't have done it. Whenever I'm researching to do one of these videos and I read about another one of these events, these homicides, these brutal homicides, every time I read about it, it makes me sick in my stomach. And this girl was only 17 years old, a baby. Her family, I can't even imagine. So, Mercedes Williamson, for you, I'm going to light I was going to say imaginary. I'm going to light a virtual candle for you, dear, and may you rest in peace. And may all the other victims out there rest in peace as well. This world's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. But you babies did not deserve to go the way you did when your life was just getting started. So, anyways, I just wish people would learn, and I wish there was just a little more acceptance and a little less hate in this world. But anyways, until next time, guys.